Introduction. A people without the knowledge of their past history, origins, and culture is like a tree without roots, as Marcus Garvey once said. The quote is very provoking and got me to reflect on my people's history, origins, and cultures. I realized I didn't know anything about them, especially the area known as Chinatown. My name is Evan J, and I will be doing my project on Chinatown. Chinatown is where I live, and a place full of diversity demonstrated through the food, the people, the landmarks, the tradition, and the history. As a kid, I remember the first time I went to Chinatown, and it was a big shock to me because I lived in the suburbs. Even today, Chinatown still amazes me. I enjoy seeing the murals and the events that are hosted in Chinatown, especially the MidAutumn Festival. I want to do this topic because I grew up in the area and have many fond memories there. In addition, it will be a self-discovery experience of my origin and heritage. The history. The history of Chinatown begins in the 1870s when a group of Chinese immigrants decided to settle in the area. The Chinese people were not a welcome sight to the neighborhoods, which led to discrimination and bouts of violent actions to the Chinese. This caused some Chinese immigrants to relocate elsewhere, according to Catherine Wilson. As a consequence of discrimination, Chinese immigrants were then limited to working in domestic service jobs, operating laundromats, or starting small commercial ventures such as import-export gift shops, grocery stores, and restaurants. Even though Chinese immigrants lived and worked in the city, they were not permitted into other neighborhoods. This made Chinatown the homeland center for the Chinese community in the city. However, this limited the social interaction of Chinese immigrants with others. Social interaction were further limited by an immigration law placed on Chinese called the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882. The Chinese Exclusion Act prevented the Chinese people, except merchants, from bringing their family into the United States. These obstacles did little to hinder the Chinese immigrants. In 1910 to 1940, the Chinese people expanded Chinatown to the surrounding area, further diversifying the area. The people saw that this development of Chinese community of Chinatown as a nuisance and a deviant community. According to Catherine Wilson, this led to the police raiding the area in the early 1900s in with what it was called the Tong Wars. Therefore, people thought Chinatown was a crime-infested area, which led to many stereotypes because of all the unsavory events that had occurred. However, these views began to change after World War II as Chinese people were allowed to bring their families into the United States, transforming Chinatown into a family community. This resulted in churches, businesses, and social or cultural organizations popping up in Chinatown. The establishment of churches such as the Holy Redeemer Chinese Catholic Church, businesses, and various organizations improved community life as well as preserved Chinese culture and provided many services to the growing numbers of the Chinese immigrants. In the years of 1940 to 1980, the boundaries of Chinatown expanded greatly north, south, east, west into Wood Street, Arch Street, and 8th to 12th Street. This expansion also came with negative consequences as the urban development project decided to create an expressway through areas of China that housed the Holy Redeemer Chinese Catholic Church and schools. This resulted in protests from the Chinese immigrants and led to the creation of many Asian organizations, AAU or Asian American United, PCDC or Philadelphia Chinatown Department Corporation to stop destruction of important cultural area of Chinatown from the urban development. Moreover, in the mid-1970s, these organizations tried to revitalize Chinatown and make it a more enjoyable place to be. In the coming years, especially during the 1990s, many Mandarin and Fujianese Chinese speakers came to Chinatown, further diversifying the area as each group brought their own regional customs, heritage, and tradition. As the Metro Chinese Weekly stated, more than 150,000 Chinese lived in the greater Philadelphia metropolitan region, most of them outside Chinatown. Among these new immigrants, my family was one of them. We came from Fujian, a province in China that spoke predominantly Fujianese. Furthermore, with various ethnic Chinese immigrants coming to Chinatown, it gave Chinatown a unique flair. This is demonstrated with the Chinatown hosted festivals and parades such as the Chinese New Year, the MidAutumn Festival, Holy Folk Culture Festival, because these festivals showcase a multifaceted celebration as they meld together multiple cultures, customs, tradition, and heritage. Chinese Lunar New Year. One of the largest known Chinese festivals is the Chinese Lunar New Year. This festival came into being due to the race among the animals of the Chinese zodiac: rat, tiger, pig, monkey, ox, snake, horse, dragon, sheep, dog, and rooster. In the race, the rat ended up as the victor with the ox coming in second. Then the tiger, rabbit, dragon, snake, horse, sheep, monkey, rooster, dog, and pig. This is a very famous Chinese story, and the Chinese Lunar New Year is held every year to celebrate this race. During this time, Chinatown is in an uproar of celebration and a series of events to celebrate this festival. The previous Lunar New Year was the Year of the Rooster. One of the first events that occurred was at Penn Museum, where the museum hosts an Asian film screening, martial arts demonstration, and a zodiac gallery tour. While in the Independence Seaport Museum, activities that teach people about the customs of the Asian culture are held, such as traditional Korean board games, Chinese lantern making, Japanese luck cat designing, Vietnamese dragon mask making, and calligraphy. Then at midnight, the Philadelphia Sun performed Lion Dance as it celebrates the beginning of the new year. The festival concluded with a parade through the city of Philadelphia, which was highlighted with a lion dance. Not only that, every year at West Philly's International House there is traditional Chinese dinner with a theater for the occasion. All of these events for the previous Chinese Lunar occurred on January 27th and 28th. As you can see, Chinese Lunar New Year is an important official recognized holiday, which is typically celebrated for a week. Every year, the Chinese zodiac changes in an animal sign because of the placing that the animals received in the Great Race. In addition, Chinese Lunar New Year celebration dates vary due to the following of the lunar calendar and not the Gregorian calendar system. The MidAutumn Festival. As a kid, one of my other favorite festivals was the MidAutumn Festival. It is a widely celebrated festival with its origins rooted in Chinese folklore. Out of the many origin stories of the festivals, the story that is recounted the most is the legend of Chang E and Hui. Hui and Chang are an immortal couple that reside in Tian, or heaven. One day, the Jade Emperor's 10 sons turned to 10 blazing suns in the night at Earth's sky, causing disasters. Thus, the Jade Emperor summoned Hui to stop his sons from destroying the Earth. Hui is a legendary archer and decided that the best way to stop the Emperor's son was by shooting them out of the sky. Hui shot down 9 of the Emperor's sons and leaving 1 to provide light. However, the Jade Emperor was furious that Hui killed his son, so the Jade Emperor decided to turn Hui and Chang to live as mortals on Earth. Chang was extremely upset about being mortal, so her husband Hui decided to go find the elixir of immortality. Chang consumed the elixir to prevent Fen Men, Hui's apprentice, from getting a hold of it. She became an immortal and fly up into the sky, but she didn't want to leave Hui, so she decided to reside on the moon where her only companion is the Jade Rabbit to be close to her husband. Hui was saddened because of this and offered fruitcakes, later known as mooncakes, as offerings to his wife. People soon took notice of Hui's story and were sympathetic to the couple that they participated in Hui's offerings. This became the basis of the MidAutumn Festival and the tradition of eating mooncakes during the festival. The Chinese believe that Hui on a day of the festival crosses the Milky Way to get to his wife. Tong are guided by the lights of the lanterns lit on MidAutumn Festival. The Murals, 10th and Winter Streets. There are many murals painted on the buildings in Chinatown. However, one mural that stood out to me most is the one on 10th and Winter Street. This is because every time I enter into Chinatown, the mural is always there as a sign of welcoming and a memorial to the history, the spirit, the hardship, and the sacrifice of the Chinese immigrants. The mural depicts a man squeezing a towel or rag, causing a river to flow out from the excess water in the rag, forming into a road. On the road, its sides are scenes depicting rural China and families, which signifies the origins of the original Chinese immigrants to Chinatown. The scenes of railroads signifies the involvement of the Chinese in its construction and development, which is an important part of U.S. history as the Chinese workers helped build the transcontinental railroad connecting east to west. Other scenes show Chinese protesters stopping bulldozers from demolishing Chinatown, a place that the Chinese in Philadelphia can call their own and a place of cultural and historical importance. The history of this mural really affirms this and furthers my understanding and significance of this piece of art. According to Kate Wilson, Belt art was created by Arthur Ho and stopped an urban construction to make an expressway in the 1960s and 70s. In this mural, water drums from the laundryman turns into a highway and it represents the early arrival of the laundryman. The bulldozers in the mural are stopped by the people who want to save Holy Redeemer Catholic Church because an expressway was going to be built. This entire thing represents the Vine Street fight, and a slogan for the picture says, "Homes, not highways." Holy Redeemer Catholic Church. The Chinese community had issues of not being able to celebrate and congregate their culture. Therefore, Paul Yu-pin, a bishop, decided to visit the rectory of St. John the Evangelist Church, which was a major church in Philadelphia in 1939. Though there were only a few Chinese Catholics, and most of the immigrants were so spread out, it made being a bishop very difficult. Then, Cardinal Dennis Duggarty and Father William A. Kavanagh worked together with Paul Yu-pin to increase the amount of Catholic Chinese in the area. Later on, funds were raised and gifts were received, resulting in the creation of Holy Redeemer Church on October 5, 1941. This was the first church ever to be built for a Chinese community in the Western Hemisphere. The creation of the church brought hope, knowledge, and culture, as well as a sense of community to the Chinese. In addition, Holy Redeemer helped solve many issues that early immigrants had to face, such as illiteracy, place of gathering, and spiritual guidance. Looking back into the past, I realized how hard the Chinese immigrants had to work in order for the Asian community to flourish and thrive to this day. The Friendship Gate or Arch. The Friendship Gate or Arch is one of the most attractive structures in Chinatown. The gate is situated at one of the entrances into Chinatown. It serves as a divine gateway into another world and culture. It is truly impressive and awe-inspiring as hundreds of tourists each day that visit Chinatown will pause and take in the sight of the structure, taking as well as a picture. Moreover, learning about the history of this landmark was an enlightening experience. The Friendship Gate is an expressive 4-story high and was initially built by Chinese artisans in Tianjin. The Tianjin artisan then created another gate in Philadelphia 2 years later, which was greatly influenced by the Ming and Qing dynasty architecture. The Friendship Gate is ordained with fire-breathing dragons in carvings and oriental lettering. Eventually, the gate began to lose its color, so in 2008, the Tianjin artisans came back to Philadelphia to repaint the gate using the exact same methods and materials when the gate was first initially constructed. One of the many materials used in the renovation of the gate that is very peculiar is pig blood, which was used in red paint. The significance of the gate lies in what it represents, and which is togetherness and determination of Chinese people of Chinatown. As previously mentioned, an example of the Chinatown's togetherness and determination was during the 1970s with the Save Chinatown movement. The movement brought the community together and united the people regardless of age, religion, education, and geography against the destruction of their community, home, schools, workplace, and way of life. The gate is left as a reminder of the bonds of friendship and brotherhood created that day between the people of Chinatown and people against adversity. In addition, the gate demonstrates how far the Asian American community and the non-Asian community have progressed through the history of Philadelphia from the discrimination in the 19th century to acceptance and brotherhood in the 20th and 21st century. Truly a symbol of modernity, friendship, and progress. The conclusion. After my research, I learned a bountiful amount of information about Chinatown's rich history. This podcast was the most enjoyable project I have done so far. Personally, I love to go to Chinatown and see what my forebears have accomplished. Moreover, I see Chinatown as a melting pot of many different Asian communities, not just Chinese, which leads to the variety of architecture that is seen and cuisine that is offered in Chinatown. This is one of the many reasons why I never regret the decision to move in the area. I will never forget the memories that I have of Chinatown, and I would strongly encourage anyone to visit Chinatown if they haven't done already. I hope everyone enjoys watching my podcast and walked away with new knowledge of Chinatown.